Now, I'm welcoming up my friends, David Elliot and Eric Johnsen. Oh yeah, they're part of the R3. Nancy, stand up. Nancy's part of R3 too. She and her group pray for us every single day. And R3 is all about solving homelessness. So, Eric, you're the CEO. So give us an explanation. What is R3?
Well, thank you for having us. R3 is Rehabilitation, Restoration, Respite, which is why we call ourselves R3. It's hard to say all that in one sentence, but we are, blessed to get a vision from God way back many years ago, but started focusing in about 2015 through a connection with one of our local prisons in Soledad in Monterey County to jumping a little bit on the bandwagon around producing these micro-housing units. People call them tiny homes. We're not doing those because those are on wheels and frames and everything else, but we're putting them on foundations. But the houses are all around trying to produce the lowest cost housing we possibly can. Housing that'll last, by the way, 30, 40, 50 years, but also producing it in the prisons. So we're teaching prisoners in Soledad Prison, and by the way, we're just blessed, you guys can play about this too, to open up another 3 or 4 prisons in the next 6 months here. But building in their vocational programs, these construction units, they're modular units that we pick up when they're done, take them and use them for housing villages. We put them on church properties. We can use them kind of for any aspect. We're building 400, 600, and 800 square foot homes. And our whole intent is not only to help the prisoners in their vocational program to learn all the job skills they need to get jobs when they get out. They're learning and getting credit for that. And by the way, the prison has stepped it up for us, and they're creating a graduate program for their prisoners, so they're the best trained construction workers coming out of the prison, and they're going to be hired. So that's really cool.
Whenever I explain this, I say, we resurrect 2 birds with 1 prayer because we don't believe in killing birds, nor throwing stones. Thank
you. That's right. We haven't killed any birds yet. We've come close when we go under those underpasses. I'm a little concerned with the houses because we barely fit under those, so. But we're all about, not only that, we work with youth build programs. We have a program called Rancho Cielo down in our county that's working primarily with youth, 18 to 24-year-old, that either dropped out of school, had gang propensities, a lot of troubles in traditional school, and they've got a vocational campus there. One of their programs is construction technology. So we're building homes with them. We're even talking now about building a factory downtown Salinas that'll be an extension of that program. We're going to take kids and hire them when they're done with the program, put them to work. And by the way, we had a contest last week with Cal State Monterey Bay. We took 3 Rancho Cielo students with 3 students from Cal State Monterey Bay. They competed in a competition for a social entrepreneurial startup, and they won the competition. And now they get to go before some VCs in the Bay Area. So we're connected to the Bay Area, even in Monterey. Just want you to know that. But they get to go before some VCs and present their business plan and everything else to get this factory started. So those are the kind of fun doors God's opening up. Please pray about the prisons opening, and we're trying to get 2. In fact, I'll show you a picture of all the. This, by the way, is our kind of a 3-pronged approach where we do these modular homes. You can see what they look like in being placed on one of the campuses up in San Benito County. Down the lower picture there is the students loading up on a truck one of the units they built at this Rancho Cielo campus, and then the manufacturing plant that we're looking at building is on the right-hand side there. So. This is an integrated model. We're all around wraparound services, connecting to services in any community where we're going, whether it's on church property, city, county, government property, but we're really all about restoring human dignity, human life, giving hope, and that's why we're especially focused on our homeless, which, by the way, we want to build a pathway to equity and ownership for people. The small homes allow that because they're affordable, if you will. They're a lot lower cost than what we're finding in the Bay Area.
This slide, you'll see at the middle that it's about a human being. It's not about the house. Even the term homeless is a challenge. I mean, the way we use it, we define people, and the homeless are quite diverse population. And it's not what you think. What was the stat of how many homeless children are there in Monterey County?
Yeah, that's a stat. They don't count homeless kids in typical homeless point-of-time counts every year. So Monterey County, in the Salinas Elementary School District alone, we have over 85% of our kids that are on subsidized meals. 10,000 kids are considered homeless in our
10
community.
That
means they're jumping between couches or between homes or in a car or whatever they are. Can you imagine what that does to a kid who, by the way, is also trying to learn English as a second language in our community, big ag community, and so on. So every time they have to move more than 2 times in a year, they lose a full year of education, is what they say, which is crazy. So
really a challenge. And one of the applications of this is that initially we were thinking of, the homeless and wraparound services, but now we're in discussion with Monterey Office of Education to actually build teacher housing, because it's a big need to then serve the school systems, to improve the school systems, to break the system. I wanted to ask David. David, you are an accomplished architect. You're the one who's designed these tiny homes.
He is accomplished.
You started your career as designing multi-million-dollar homes in Pebble Beach that were, back many, many years ago, were worth $8 million. Who knows what they're worth now? So why are you doing this?
That was a good question, because I saw early in the program here the term why. And so that made me think about this, why. And I was just a kid, 12 years old, parents broke up, and that was my first death of a vision. And death of a vision means wait for it, for what God really has in mind for you. And so he took me to a place where I was the sole support of 4 kids, and my mother was sick. At 18, I'd spent all my college funds to support the family, and God still got me an education. And then I built a gorgeous home. I have 7 children and 10 grandchildren, and they are amazing. They're way more productive in God's work than I am. I'm put to shame by what they do. So, and then the bottom dropped out of the economy in 10 years ago, and I had no work. I was getting 6 figures for designing Pebble Beach homes, and now I had no work. So what do? So I'm going to give my time to doing homeless housing. So I designed some homes, went down to the prison for the first time, and went through 7 gates, clink, another gate, clink, another gate, clink, 7 of those, and I'm going, what am I doing down here? I don't belong here. And then so I come into a group of 40 men, and I'm unrolling my plans, and I'm telling them, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do this for homeless, and this is great. And now we're going to have the productions of what you were doing before, which was building a house, tearing it down, and saving the materials, and then start over. Why are we doing that? And so while I was managing to try to save my home and stuff, a pastor came, and we shared my home for a year, and that took care of our situation. Had a good lawyer, and David became the he became the
he was the bridge builder that opened up the door.
He said Northern California head of prison
fellowship. So he was working
fellowship.
at the prison, right? So I'm down there with 40 guys, and then they look at me and say, "Why are you here? Why do you care about us?" And I'm usually going into presentations already knowing what all my answers are and what all the questions are. Didn't expect that. And what came out of my mouth was, I bring hope. I bring hope. And God, I believe in a God of second chances. And so I saw some heads nod. And then another guy came up right in my face. His name is Kevin. Kevin came up in my face and said, "What good is this to me? I'm a lifer." And what came out of my mouth, this was the Holy Spirit, because I was not prepared for this. Now you have hope. Now you have purpose. Now your life counts for something. You're doing something that makes a difference in the world. If you never get out of here, your life counts. Got a letter from him 2 weeks ago. He's up for parole on Wednesday. Woo! And I'm in his camp. I'm right there with him.
And
we actually want to hire him to our manufacturing plant when we get that built in Salinas, because he's so good.
And he's been working with David and giving him input and help co-designing the houses with us.
Every time I come down there, he's got something new that I hadn't thought of. So he's my co-designer down there. He's got something great every time.
So if you need a Murphy bed, he's got a really good one in Soledad Prison. He's got to figure out how to get it out. And I think if you play soccer, like our keynote, they love soccer down there. So if you can kick a soccer ball going into the prison, you're a hero. It's kind of cool.
So this is a holistic solution. We don't have time, but you can sit with them at the breakout session later. We're partnering with all these different organizations, but we're also a resource for churches. So I actually say we resurrect 3 birds with 1 prayer. Churches many times have land assets, and because of demographics and stuff, they also have a felt need for income. And many times they're like, we'd like to touch that community, but we don't know how. And we come alongside them and show them, walk with them to show them all the resources that are available. Community development funds, there's money out there, there's government money out there that's very favorable for the faith community, but we don't know how to access it. So Eric knows more. We have leaders on our board that are real experts in this area. So we come alongside the churches to help them put together, they have the land asset, that's all they need, and bring together the community development for the investment to make this all happen.
And this is a picture of one we're just getting ready to start over in Modesto, actually. We're going to put 9 homes on this property for families coming out of homelessness. And this church, along with 10 other churches, are going to be serving these people in these homes. So kind of fun.
These are beautiful homes. David says he gets more joy out of this than he did designing these Pebble Beach homes, because it's about restoring people. It's about dignity. It's about the holistic thing and representing Jesus properly. All right, thank you so much.
Hey, thank you all.
All right.